Yo, real quick.
If it isn't our favourite controversial edgelord musician, Bobby of Bobby Vylan, or Pascal Robinson Foster, as Mummy likes to call him.
At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated.
Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit!
At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death.
No one died.
Now, I don't mean to be condescending, Bobby, but I just think, what would Mummy have said? If she could see you behaving like this. If you had been behaving like this back home, on the mean streets of Ipswich, where you grew up, what would Mummy have said? She'd have said, Pascal Robinson Foster, I can't let you out of my sight for 5 minutes without you riling up the autistic teenagers and inciting violence against some collective or other.
Death to every single IDF soldier out there as an agent of terror for Israel. Death to the IDF. Because if you chat shit, you will get banned! Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit!
First the Israelis, now the Christian conservatives. What next? I'm trying to start a revolution. Nobody in this house understands me. I'm going to go live with Daddy. Oh, Pascal. Part of me thinks that's what all of this is really about. As much as I'm joking, and as much as you are a man in his mid-30s and a father yourself now, I feel all of this play-acting the hard man yardie, brrrr, you get banged. It's all about that, isn't it? It's trying to earn the love of your father. It's never coming. He fucked off to Stepney Green, didn't he, all those years ago, to hang out with his brethren instead of with his family. No amount of, pseudo-hardman antics are ever going to make him respect the bastard nerd of a son he had. Of course, I'm just speculating.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. I did call him a piece of shit. That much is true.
Okay, Pascal, let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine you're somebody I really dislike. Imagine if, I was going to say something a lot worse, but imagine something awful were to happen at one of your concerts and your daughter was in attendance. And then I jumped on here and I said, with a smirk on my face, rest in peace, Pascal Robinson Foster, you piece of shit. And then I got visibly giddy at what I'd just said. I even surprised myself. I was such an edgelord. And then I started to prance around my living room like you did on the stage, like that, right? Imagine if I did that. Would you say I'd celebrated your death?
But at no point was his death celebrated. If it was, go find me a quote, go find me something that proves that we were celebrating his death.
I almost feel like this is the worst part of all of this. The hypocrisy. No, the worst part is that he can't stand up for him. He can't stand by his actions, his convictions. Like, there's no... It's this simple, Pascal. If you think it's okay to laugh at a man getting slaughtered in front of his family, a man who just said some things that you didn't like, and by the way, I really doubt any of these people know anything about Charlie. They'll have seen, as I've said in other videos, clips that's on that come up on their trained Instagram or X algorithms, which are taken out of context. They won't have listened to his debates with people. They wouldn't give anything the time of day. It's all about them. The fact that you can't stand up for what you did I mean, what is it? That when you're on stage, the excitement, the giddiness, it riles you up into this alter ego that doesn't know what he's doing or saying. I mean, it's not even that, is it? Because you're here now sort of saying, no, technically, I want you to find one quote where I actually celebrated, technically, the death of Charlie. Stand up for yourself. If you're that kind of person, if you think that what you did is okay, say it. Say it now. Where are your balls? Where are your conviction? Where are my balls? What the hell was that noise? Your balls! I'm sounding like Piers Morgan.
You're not going to find it because it didn't happen. What did happen is one reporter that bought their ticket online came with the sole purpose of finding something to report, and after I called him a piece of shit and we played a song, they have written that up as a celebration. Not a celebration, isn't a celebration, wasn't a celebration.
I want to dedicate this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns was, were. Because if you chat shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit. Oh shit.
That looked like a celebration to me. Something happened. You remarked on it, made jokes about it. Pronouns was, were, piece of shit. You did your little dance to the rapturous applause and cheers from the crowd. I think that's a textbook celebration of something, but whatever. Let's not get bogged down in semantics. Eh? The point is, I'm not even angry about things like this because I feel it reveals harsh truths about the world. There are a lot of people that live amongst us who think this kind of behaviour is okay, you know? And they're emboldened by the mob. As much as I've said in the past, in previous videos, that the internet amplifies the most outrageous, narcissistic, engagement farming points of view, and it's not really realistic. There are a lot of bastards out there, you know, just bad people, and they are emboldened by the mob. I experienced it myself yesterday. I parked where I shouldn't have in a lovely little fishing village near my house, and somebody was trapped for about 5 minutes. All right, and I ran to my car with my key, opened the door, and the guy started screaming retard at me. A guy in one of the terraces next to the car, who I don't think was anything to do with him, started calling me a fucking retard. Somebody on a balcony started calling me a retard. Somebody behind me, they were all using the same word. It was very strange. Retrasado mental, they were calling me in very rude Spanish. And of course, you know that. I'm emboldened by solitude. So I just stood there and saying, hey, there's no need for that language. Took me a good 5 minutes to get into my car. So I think we know who the winner is there.
Calm down.
To effectively create change in the world we desire.
Ooh, who is this suffragette?
That is so gay.
And side prop will argue that at times there is simply nothing else that can be required other than violent retaliation.
If it isn't the president of the Oxford Union, George Onye, inciting political violence.
And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree with. The view that some institutions are too broken, too regressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by any means necessary.
But you look like you'd have trouble taking down a tin of soup from the top shelf, my love. Charlie Kirk got shot. Let's fucking go. Look at this, by the way. That ain't the president of nothing, all right? That's you think of the president of the Oxford Union. Like, obviously, it never is the case nowadays, but it should be. The president of the Oxford Union should be Charles fucking Ryder, okay? He should look like Jeremy Irons, slumped on a chaise lawn, eating plover eggs out of the nest and sipping on champagne. Not that. Whatever the... What's that?
After data point, and I would ask you the question, has the West grown stronger the more effeminate has become?
Okay, you've said a lot.
Yes, that's how a Q&A works. You ask the question and I answer, so I am the speaker, you know that's how it works, yeah.
Okay, so on your point about adolescence, I don't think adolescence is a generalization. We're not saying that every young boy in the UK is like this. We're not saying every young boy goes through this process. It's an example of what can happen when people fall into this kind of media. I think it's like, and it's more of a story or a warning to what can happen to people that, you know, fall into these bubbles, who don't find the help that they necessarily need, that can turn violent. And like, this is a perfect example of toxic masculinity, in which the boy feels like he's not affirmed in his masculinity and takes that out on women. Like that, we've also then seen, like, within men, like the largest contributor to like men's deaths right now is male suicide. Like, but I would argue that is not a factor of feminization, but instead a factor of masculinity.
This guy calling for violence by any means necessary. What's the saying about weak men and times? Weak times make me hard. Is that right?
The idea that men can't be in touch with their feelings. You talked about a feeling-first approach being effeminate. So men are simply not allowed to engage with their feelings at all. Like, men not allowed to talk about their feelings. These are large contributors to a massive problem within men's spaces that lead to what is the highest contributor to men's death, suicide. And I think this idea that, you know, men simply go back to work and if they're economically assured, then suddenly everything is fine. And, you know, men's mental health was never an issue before, like the 90s or whatever it was when we used to start affirming men's mental health, I think is an unfair, it's an unfair point to make. And I think it doesn't speak to a lot of issues that a lot of young men face. And I think it's a dishonest way to go about talking about this conversation.
Okay, so which part would you like me to respond to?
Let's go to the point about male suicide and masculinity not being allowed to affirm.
So to your
emotions.
point, if it was true that men have always been miserable, why have the suicide rates gone up?
Well, because we've started recording suicides better. It's not to say that suicides didn't occur on this level. It's just we simply have better ways of recording.
That's rubbish, and you know. Body bags are data that transcends any sort of manipulation. A self-inflicted gun wound or being hung was not like a mass reporting issue 60 years ago in this country or in the West. It is a material fact because we know it's happening in the Anglosphere. It's happening in Australia, it's happening in America, it's happening all across Europe, that suicide rates of men are going up. Depression is going up.
Yes.
They are correlated together. It's not a reporting issue. There's something undergirding it. And in fact, just one other thing, your own prime minister endorsed adolescence. He sent out a tweet saying, I was shocked to the core when I watched this film and everyone should watch it. So that is an endorsement from the top leader, other than, you know, the king of this country, of endorse. I don't even know, may the king endorse that.
I mean, an endorsement's not a generalization.
Well,
Fucking incredible. I mean, I really think we've got to bring back... Like, do you not see that there's perhaps, I don't know, an ulterior motive for an extremely weak, puny little man to be saying, oh, we need to be more effeminate, you know, we need to be more feminized because everything's too much, there's too much toxic masculinity, right? That's why all the men are killing themselves, is it? Oh my God. Yeah, the weak man times quote, absolutely right, you know. Fear these innocuous little dweebs. They're terrifying. They're up to no good, all right? I'm not the first guy to say this. This isn't some kind of revolutionary thing I'm telling you all, but you really need to trust your gut on things like this. Anyone who's there standing in the Oxford Union in his slippers and his joggers and a t-shirt and like my dreads out and like I'm thinking like basically toxic masculinity, that little cuttlefish, no. Oh wait! Nowhere near the keys do we allow a manlet like that. Get out. Okay? Grow up. Put on a suit, you disrespectful scumbag! Anyway, I think that's all I've got time for today. If you've enjoyed the video at any point, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, follow me on X and on Instagram to know when I bring out a new video, and and join my Patreon if you want some access to some exclusive videos and to help out with the channel even further. I'll see you in the next one.
Just floating down the middle of Edinburgh here, hey, with a wee fucking seagull here. How you doing? My wee gull, hey. Ah, yeah, fucking bastard just bit me in the cheek. Ah, yeah, fuck. Ah, yeah, fucker. Ah, yeah.